What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I want to say welcome, and if you are returning, I want to say thank you guys so much. The support has been great, and I hope you're learning something from these videos. When I speak in these videos, I really hope that God is talking through me, and there was a comment that somebody made about not knowing what their purpose was, and I get this. I really get this, because it seems like if you think on it, your purpose doesn't seem super clear. You don't really know what you should be doing. And it seems like you run up against a lot of walls and you're not sure exactly what you need to do next. And I think it's not about so much finding exactly what you're supposed to do, because oftentimes we're constantly trying to figure out what it is, right? Like, we want to know the end goal. We want to know the end result. And as men, we need to understand that the process is part of it. You see, a lot of times we get so caught up in what we've done and where we are currently that we get stuck. And we tend to dwell on the negatives. And some of this you can blame on social media. Some of this you can blame on the way the world is working now. It can seem bleak at times, but I want to give you guys hope, because I'm just a man, and at the end of the day, it's by the grace of God that I am what I am, that I'm here right now. And if you turn what has happened to you, if you look at that as a gratitude, as shaping you, as propelling you into what you should be doing, then you'll have a better perspective and a better outlook on life. There's a verse, Micah 6:8 says that, "What does the Lord require of you, O man? But to act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God." And I think a lot of people get stuck on, you got to do this, got to do that, you got to do this, like to make money, and those are important, right? You got to be focused. At the same time, you're not going to get to where you want to be overnight. It's not going to happen. And I think as men, we get stuck because we think, oh man, like, I see these other people, right? Again, you can look at social media, maybe people and you're like, man, they just seem like they've got it, right? And everybody has different gifts. But oftentimes we short sell ourselves. And oftentimes we don't look at the progress that we're making right now. And it's okay not to be where you want to be today. I think it's more important to focus on what you can control and what is actually going on. I talk on this channel a lot about what it is to be a man, because I grew up a certain way. And I grew up having this mentality of, I have to be a high achiever, I have to do all these things, and I accomplished most of what I set out to do. And I found that every time I achieved something, it wasn't as fun as the process of achieving it. And what I meant by that is, once I actually achieved that goal, that dream, whatever it was, once I reached that pinnacle, so to speak, it wasn't everything. And you guys can probably relate to this, right? You finally achieve something educationally, financially, something, personal in your life, and you go, great. And a lot of guys, they tend to either stop there, they tend to think way too highly of it, right? Because you can get into this mindset of pride and wanting to just feel that good in the moment and just hold on to that and like over stimulate. But the reality is it's just something that you've checked off the box, and the mindset should be, okay, what's next, right? I have this motto in my life. It's always content, never complacent. And the idea is we should always be content where we're at, but we should never be complacent to just stay where we're at, because as men, we're supposed to be building, we're supposed to be improving, we're supposed to be reaching for something, fighting for something. Because at the end of the day, that's really what gives you that fire as a man, right? Most men out there are stuck. They feel like they don't have hope because they don't have that fire, or that fire's died out. Because if we're being honest, if you look at your life right now, you're not moving where you want to go. You're not progressing. You're not taking the steps where you want to go, because we live in this world where it's easy to get instant gratification, especially in the West, right? I've mentioned this before, but it's so easy. Think of all the things that are super easy to get high on, or to get drunk on, or to stimulate yourself with, right? Or to distract yourself, to numb yourself, to put yourself in this state of freeze, right? Where you try to blank out. You drown yourself in video games, you drown yourself in porn, you drown yourself in social media, and it never goes away, right? It's like that itch, like that thing that you really desire, it never really goes away. And the idea that we should have is, instead of just trying to cut those things out, instead it should be, what can I replace it with? A lot of people think they have addiction problems, and they have these mental problems, and they have these, attention deficit disorders and all those things. Those things are really superpowers you guys can harness. You can turn that. You see, a lot of your senses, the ways that you've been living have been hijacked, because it is easy to get hooked on these quick fixes, these quick hits. But the reality is, at the end of the day, when you go to sleep at night, you wake up in the morning, you go about your day, in the back of your mind, you should be doing that one thing, right? Like, you should be, getting on YouTube, making videos, right? Maybe you don't have to talk, but maybe you can show people how to do things. Maybe you need to get out there and accomplish that educational goal you've always wanted to. Learn that trade, learn that skill, build that business, build the website, right? We sell ourselves short because we see all these other people doing things, and we're like, I'm never going to get there. But everybody has a unique thing in their life that God has gifted them with, that will propel them into the place that they want to be. All right. And it can make sense to think of the end goal, because you should have that vision. You should have that idea. Okay, this is what I want in life. This is where I want to be. Those things aren't bad. A lot of times as men, we're told that it's bad to look out for yourself. It's bad to want what you want. And ultimately, guys, I'm going to tell you right now, if your goal is to just have women, or to have money, or to have power, or to have influence, you're not going to be happy once you have those things. The truth is, once you step forward in who you're supposed to be in God, you will have those things. Now, does that mean you should live a loose lifestyle, and that you should just sleep around, and you should just party, and you should blow your money on things that aren't beneficial, right? No. Because again, you're going to end up in the same spot, just with more money. More money is going to equal different problems, right? And the idea is to be the man you're supposed to be now. And the reason I brought up Micah 6:8 is because, guys, it's really simple. We look at the world and we see that, people seem to be getting things a certain way, right? It's like, oh, this guy, this fitness influencer, yeah, he's taking steroids, but, he's selling millions of products, and he's selling all these workout plans, and look, he's so rich. And look at this influencer, the way they make money. They're constantly just in drama, and they're constantly stirring up a frenzy, and that's how they make money. Look at this guy, look at what he's doing, and he has all these women, all these cars, and all these things. But guys, the reality is that stuff, oftentimes people don't tell you the other side of it. A lot of those people, most of them, they will burn out very quickly, because what they're founded on, what they're established on, isn't real. It's not lasting, right? Just look at Proverbs, right? A lot of people don't like the Bible, but I understand why. I've been there where I thought I had all the answers. I thought I knew everything, and I tried to do things my own way. And sometimes it would seem like I would have success, and it would seem like I would get what I want, but then I'd be left more empty than before. And thankfully, by the grace of God, he kept bringing me back to the truth, the foundation. Christ is the cornerstone. If we model our lives after Jesus, everything makes sense. So what does that look like, right? It looks like being the man of God that he made you to be today, right? You can't really fix what happened yesterday or years before, but you can choose to be different today. You can choose to make the conscious decision that you're going to be different tomorrow, that it's going to be a lifestyle. Because I'm going to tell you right now, guys, if you treat people the right way, if you're not a deceiver, if you're not a liar, if you're true to people, if you're helpful to people, if you try to make their day, if you listen to them, if you stop trying to make yourself bigger than you are, if you stop trying to, make yourself out to be someone that you're not, because that's what a lot of people are doing now, because it seems like most of the world revolves off of the image that's portrayed on social media, that's portrayed in advertising, you're being fed a certain image for a reason. It's to make you feel inadequate. It's to make you feel like you're missing out. It's the fear of missing out. It's all based off of fear, right? And then the idea is to get you in debt, so that when you become in debt, you have to become a slave to the system. You have to become a slave to the workforce. Not saying it's a bad thing to work. I'm saying that the idea is to get you wrapped up into the lifestyle and to spend your waking moments and all your money and all your dreams, all your hopes, all your ambition, all your strength on things that are going to leave you more empty. Oftentimes, I believe that in a believer's life, if you believe in what God's done for you, if you believe in what Jesus has done for you, he said, if you put him first, if you put the kingdom of righteousness first, if you have this kingdom mindset of, okay, this world isn't mine. This world is not going to be exactly what I want it to be, but how can I further the kingdom of righteousness? If you try to bring the kingdom of righteousness to earth, right? If you have this idea that it's God's earth, it's God's creation, and you think, okay, what would God want me to do? What is the right thing? In our hearts, we all know what the right thing is, right? It's to help people out, it's to protect people, it's to stand up for people. It's also to stand up for ourselves as men. It's also to stand up for who we are. It's also to stand up for what is right. Evil happens because good men stand by and do nothing. And a lot of good men, I believe these days, are complacent. A lot of good men aren't doing what they know they need to do because it's easier to just drown yourself in comfort and pleasure. So it's the everyday things, guys. You don't really see it maybe today, but as the days, the weeks, the months, the years go on, it builds. It builds something solid. It builds something real. If we're always chasing what other people want us to chase, if we're always buying and consuming what the world tells us we should consume, well, we're going to be in the same boat that everybody else is, and that is unhappy, it's angry, it's full of angst, it's full of worry and anxiety, it's never enough. But if we seek first the kingdom of righteousness, God will give us everything that we need. And I believe that oftentimes God will not give us more than we can handle. He won't give us the riches that we desire because we're not ready for that. Our hearts aren't ready for it. Our minds aren't ready. Our being, like if we had that money, we would blow it. We would destroy ourselves and others with it. So I believe that he oftentimes puts fail-safes on his people, right? He will only allow a certain amount, a certain instance, a certain thing to happen because he doesn't want his people, his sons and daughters, to go off the rails, right? Yes, you can backslide. Yes, you make your own choices, but I can look back in my life and go, even when I was living in a life of sin, there was things that God kept me from. There was things that God kept me from that would have been much more severe, that would have had much worse consequences. There were times where I was so much in debt that I didn't know what I was going to do, and God always provided, right? So oftentimes God will get us to that point where we're like, I don't know what to do. I'm stuck. And that's exactly when we're supposed to lean into his ways because he's calling us out of it. You know, the world, if you don't have any conscience, if you don't have any spirit, if you don't have any heart that's postured towards God, you're not going to care about these things. You're going to profit based off of how the world works, based off of deceit, based off of vanity, based off of indulgence. You're going to profit off of that. There's a lot of evil men. There's a lot of people with bad intentions who get a lot in life, who look like they have it all together, but they're selling their soul. They don't even realize it, but they're selling their soul. They're losing their humanity because of it. And that's not who God made us to be, right? You want to have you want to have long days. You want to have peaceful days. You want to have a hope for the future. You want to set your family and yourself up, your legacy up. you got to get in line with the way that God has called you to be in. My father told me something one time. He said, all you have in this life at the end of the day, because you could lose it all, right? You can lose it all. Guys, I'm going to tell you right now, I've lost it all a couple times over, right? But God is good. My father said that at the end of the day, you could lose it all, but you have your reputation. Your reputation is important, guys. Who do people see you as? Who are you to people? What value are you providing as a man? You know, we get so caught up in this idea of value being like money and value, but who are you internally? Are you the guy that people can come to and confide in? Are you the guy that people can look up to lead them when things get tough? Are you the guy that people come to because they can trust you to show them what to do? Are you the guy that instead of letting these things of the world rule you, you instead persevere and fight through it? And then you can become a light to other people. So don't think of it so much as getting to the end goal. Don't think of it so much as you have to be here or like you feel lost. But if you feel lost, guys, that's honestly, paradoxically, that's a great place to be. Because if you don't think you have anything to go for, you can just start making up goals. And the idea is to make up goals that are authentic to you, that are true to you. Everybody's out there doing their own thing. Let them do their own thing, right? But there are some baseline things I think that are important, right? A lot of guys out there are like, man, I want to make money. Okay, what are you doing to make money? Well, I have these ideas. Okay, cool. What are you doing? Do you even have a job? A lot of people don't even have a job. I used to be like this, guys. That's why I can talk about it. Because I used to be the guy that just thought and would say things, but I wasn't acting on them. I wasn't doing anything about it. Yeah, I want to help people one day. Yeah, I want to be influential. Yeah, I want to add value to people's lives. Not doing anything about it. Same kind of guy who's like, man, I want to get in shape. Okay, cool. Are you going to the gym? Well, no. Okay, are you doing anything active? No. All right. Well, what are your goals? What do you want to do? And oftentimes guys don't think like this because they're like, well, I have to do this, I have to do that. This person's doing that, and that works for them. Let it work for them, right? Find the thing that you want to do. Find the thing that you enjoy doing. Imagine going your whole life, guys. You only get one. Imagine going your whole life and you're just doing what everybody else is doing, and you've never lived out what you wanted to do. Stop thinking of it like what I want to do is a bad thing, unless what you want to do is an actual bad thing. And we've already talked about that, right? Those things you shouldn't be doing, those things that are just going to leave you more empty than before, right? What can you do? What good things can you do today, right? Like, okay, I want to go to the gym. I want to start working out. Cool. Well, find the gym that's maybe closest to you. Find the gym, go visit a couple of them, right? Find the one you can afford. Find a workout style that you enjoy. If you want to work at a job, find something that you at least halfway enjoy, right? It doesn't have to be your dream job, but find something where you can start making some income, right? You want to be financially independent? Cool. What are you doing about it? Do you have an idea? Do you have something to share with people? You want to make YouTube videos? You want to build a business? You want to build a product? You want to market? What do you want to do, right? And you got to think about these things because your time is finite, guys. You can't get time back. You really can't get your time back. And that's why when I make these videos, sometimes they're 10 minutes, sometimes they're 25 minutes. I want to give you guys as much value as you can possibly have watching this because you're not going to get this time back. Hopefully this sparks something in you. It makes you go, you know what? I need to start doing this. Maybe if I start doing that, and if it doesn't work out, that's okay. You readjust. You figure out, okay, cool. Didn't work. Awesome. On to the next thing. I'll try this instead. You also got to check how much do you really want it and how much is your heart really in it. I made this example before. I'll just tell you guys really quickly. I was in a job. I was obsessed with sales a couple of years ago. I just wanted to be the best salesman. And I was good. I was really good. I was making a lot of money. I was one of the youngest people in my company. I was up there with the top salespeople, and I was making money, and I was on track to make a lot of money. And the thing that ended up not working out for me was because I truly felt like it got to the point where my heart wasn't in it, and I was having to say and do things just to make money because of how the industry was changing and how things were changing. And I told myself this isn't who I was going to be. And you got to be aware of that. You got to be aware that you're not selling yourself. You're not selling your humanity because of money, because of what you want. And then God opened doors, and I am where I am today because of it. And I've been able to be in the mind space to have my heart set on the things of God and be able, with less money, to do more with it. And so you got to think of these things. Like, if you're not where you want to be, actually check yourself and be honest and go, am I where God wants me to be? And the best way to do that is to act humbly, right? To act justly, to love mercy, and to walk humbly with your God. And you have to read the Bible. You have to put the work in. You have to put the time in and read what the Bible says, right? A lot of guys think, a lot of people think Jesus was some hippie dude. Jesus was a man. He stood up for what was right. He spoke out against what was wrong. He had what he needed. God always provided for him. And our main mission at the end of the day should be, in everything we do and say, to reflect the glory of God. And I fail at this all the time, guys, but it's by the power of the Holy Spirit that he convicts you and he shows you and he changes you so that more and more and more you're being conformed into the image of his Son. And you actually start to understand what peace is, what gratitude is, what goodness actually is. And then you become content with less. But then you start to notice that God gives you more, because you're content with less and you understand what to do with less, because we're all servants of God. And he's not going to give his servants who are unwise, his servants who don't care, he's not going to give them more. Because again, everything we do should reflect him. Why should he grant somebody who calls on his name, who supposedly talks about him, why should he give them so much that they just squander it and that they basically defame him and his kingdom, right? So we got to think about that. God will always give us what we need when we need it. But what can you do today? What can you do today that's going to please God? What can you do today that is going to actually put you in the position that is going to make it where you can walk in what God has called you to? And I can't tell you what that is, but God, I guarantee you, has put that in your heart. And if you don't know, ask him. Literally ask him in prayer. There's no magic way to do it. You just ask him. You ask him and you receive what he tells you. And he will open doors. He'll put things in your heart, in your mind. Things will become clearer and you'll be able to walk forward in what he has for you. So guys, don't lose hope. God has a plan for you. You're not stuck. This is just an opportunity for you to lean into God, to lean into what he has called you to, and to walk step by step, day by day. And things around you guys, the world, everything will blossom. Even when it's dark, even when it's bleak, even when everything goes wrong, you will have a peace that surpasses all understanding. So guys, if you have any comments, if you need anything, let me know below. I love getting back to you guys. And Lord willing, I will see y'all in the next one.